What is true masculinity? It's a definition which we are no longer allowed to define in this modern world. I have struggled with being masculine my whole life. Femininity sort of took over my brain and it changed me into a person that I was not meant to be. It made me fall under the category of the woke people, the bots, the NPCs, and I don't think anyone would actually like to be there. Because you can't form your own opinion, you just listen to what other people tell you to do, you don't have any thought process, you have a boring life. Now, I'm not saying that's what femininity is. That's what happens when men let femininity take over. Femininity is not a bad thing, right? You just need, as a man, to have a much higher level of testosterone. You know, there was actually once a study that showed that in women's bodies, they actually have more testosterone than estrogen, but their body just prioritizes the estrogen. So, estrogen and testosterone are both amazing things. And you need both, otherwise you're not a person. Because feminine nature is nurturing and caring. If you didn't have any of that, then you just, if you didn't care for anything, you'd just most likely just be a sociopath or a psychopath. But if you didn't have masculinity, then you become weak. And no one wants that, do you? You know, this whole woke culture, they just see any type of masculinity as toxic and evil. I mean, what the fuck, man? There's literally a movement called Kill All Men. How fucking stupid can people get? And then they come up with the argument of that one fucking study that said that women can have bone marrow babies. Yeah, but it's very difficult to do, and also, if it had the exact same genetic code as you, then it's technically incestual, and there's bound to be some sort of genetic mutation or failure. It's fucking shallow, this whole thing, really. Because, you know, they do just read one thing and then, you know, that's their whole opinion on it settled. They can't change it or anything. Like I said, they deem masculinity as toxic. But look at them. Look at all the fucking clones walking around, all the people with dyed purple or dyed pink hair. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just I've noticed that a lot of the people that are woke, they always manage to have coloured hair. A wacky colour, green, blue, pink, purple. You know, if you're a normal person, then by all means dye it, but you know, it's just you notice patterns with the same types of people. I mean, that sounds obvious, but if it's obvious, then you know it's right there. You know, in my school, there are there are more theys than he's and she's. I'm just exaggerating, but just to prove my point, just like all around the entire country, the entirety of England, there's got at somewhere there's got to be some school with more theys than he's and she's. You know, it's plausible at this point from how fucking ridiculous it's getting. Now, I'm not going to dive into all the why I'm against what LGBT stand for now. I'm not going to go into that. That's a completely separate video, and I think I've already done a video on that. But, you know, it's just people are jumping on the fucking bandwagon. I mean, I had a best friend. We were friends for 4 and a bit years. We were best friends. We could literally not see each other for probably a month, or possibly even more, and just literally carry on as if no time has passed. But to be fair, throughout those 4 years, I was one of the woke people. So yeah, they used to. Alright, so their biological sex, their real sex, one of the only two, is male, but they wanted to be female. Now, look, it doesn't affect me, so I shouldn't care, but I need to care because masculinity, apart from as of just barely recently, due to Andrew Tate, masculinity has been on the downfall for 40, 50, no, not 50, probably 30, 40 years. And the young generation now, how fucking delusional are they? Imagine them. I want you right now to imagine them as our world leaders. Fucking hell. Oh, it's scary. It's scary. Now I've got three famous people talking about masculinity or something around there. So, one man by the name of Cassius Clay, as we know him, Muhammad Ali, he was on a talk show and the host asked him, "What's the central part of your training? Is it running? Is it sparring?" And then Ali said, "Central part, dodging the nightclubs and the parties and the girls." You want the truth? Being in bed by yourself at 9 o'clock at night. If you can get by that, you'll make it. Muhammad Ali, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. I think he was mega rich. He would have had an abundance of girls. But what did he do? Because he was a Muslim, he did not chase any of that. He said he always had one bodyguard, Allah. Now, I'm not preaching to you to say convert to Islam or convert to Christianity, but he had an abundance and he chose not to get dragged down. A world-renowned, world-famous psychiatrist, Jordan Peterson, said, "It's not okay. It's necessary. What the hell are we going to do without men?" You look around this city here and you see all these buildings go up. These men are doing impossible things. They're under the streets, working in the sewers. They're up on the power lines, in the storms and the rain. They're keeping this impossible infrastructure functioning. This thing that works in a miraculous manner. They work themselves to death, and often literally. Powerful, that was. It's necessary to be a man. He's basically saying, without men, the world would go to shit. Just like without women, the world would go to shit. And the third person is by the name of Andrew Tate. Now, I'm not going to give my opinion on him because it'd most likely get me cancelled. Because you're all fucking sad, crying bitches. Andrew Tate, he said, if someone asked me to define masculinity, I would define it as feeling a certain way and doing the opposite, or ignoring how you feel. It doesn't matter how I feel about the gym, it doesn't matter how I feel about going to work, none of that is important. I do what I'm supposed to do, having duty, having honour, and performing regardless of how you feel. That is an amazing quote. Now, what he's saying is, obviously, you have emotions. Those emotions can be good, but some can be bad. We've all had those days where we just feel like not doing anything. I have those days. We also have days where we believe that we can conquer the world. Everyone has those days. But regardless of how you are feeling, you still must do what you have to do. You must have the urge to work, the urge to better yourself. A way to do that is through self-improvement, which is, I think, the greatest thing to happen to this generation. People to find self-improvement. Now, unfortunately, I'm not able to name many self-improvement YouTubers, but the one that pops into my head is probably the most real, actual human, proper advice self-improvement YouTuber, who as of recent has decided to retire from that chapter in his life. Hamza. Hamza has changed my life, as he has many hundreds of thousands. He will be forever remembered. You must have drive. You have to be stoic. Stoicism is one of the key parts in being a man. Without stoicism, emotion would take control. Without stoicism, wars would have been lost. Without stoicism, the world would have crumbled. You cannot let emotions get the better of you. The most important thing, I believe, is finding faults in yourself and learning from your mistakes. Nobody, apart from Jesus himself, was perfect. Ever. We all have done bad things. We all have done good things. But at the end of the day, at the end of each day, you can look back and find something that you did wrong, or something that you could have done better. Learn from that. There are 5 virtues of a true man: discipline, humility, presence, gratitude, and leadership. Discipline is doing the hard work, especially when you don't feel like it. Humility is realizing that you are not some god, some deity, but you are only a human. Presence, being aware of all your surroundings and your mind. Gratitude, seeing how amazing everything is. Leadership, leading other people to greatness, helping other people escape their mind. One of the best ways to discipline yourself, I think, is cold showers. As I said earlier, nobody's ever been perfect. For a few months now, I've been too scared to take a cold shower. And that has just led to me just taking cold ones. I stayed in comfort. I stayed in comfort, people. Is that discipline? No. But this morning I took my first cold shower in months. Now you do realise I hated every single second of it, but I feel so much better now. I feel so proud of myself. Surely you'd want that, to feel good throughout the day because you did one little thing, but it was a good thing. One way to feel more present is through meditation. Meditation is probably one of the best things that I've ever done. Now, as I said with cold showers, I've sort of been lacking recently. But I've started to get back into meditation. Need to sneeze. Ugh. Ugh, bless me. A way to feel gratitude. Go up to a member of family or a friend and say thank you and list 5 things that you're grateful for that they do. A way to be a leader. Help people realise how much potential they have. Give people motivation to do shit that they don't want to do, but will make them better. If I were to define masculinity, it would be taking it upon yourself to do the things that feel shitty because you know it must be done. As a war would not be won if soldiers did not charge into battle. Are you a masculine person? A true masculine man? Or a feminine man who likes to weep and stay in comfort?